everyone, one more time to Every Good and Perfect Gift. This is Paulina, and I am here at Casa de Dios with
Caleb,
Grace, Zoe,
and we just want to welcome you again. And this is a follow-up from the last video, and these are the children of Pastors Obed and Monica, and I wanted to get them on here so they can talk a little bit more about their experience, about how they love to serve the Lord. So who wants to begin first by talking about maybe how it was growing up, being in church ministry, or with your parents being pastors? Does anybody want to go?
Well, they say being pastor's kid and being a normal kid that serves God is different, and it is, because in pastor's kid you're not forced to do something, but it comes with like being a pastor kid responsibility. And we're not saying that we don't like it. We do. I very much enjoy playing the piano, playing the bass, and serving. But how it was different, it was just normal kids wouldn't come to as much services as we would. Normal kids wouldn't go buy supplies for the church like we would. You know, we would just do stuff with the pastors like that. That's how it worked.
They wouldn't have all-nighters like at church and stuff.
Yeah.
Meetings, long waiting in here for long meetings.
Meetings,
staying after church for hours.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to share?
I started working in the media field because a spot needed to be filled, so I went over there and filled a spot. And that's something that like pastors' kids kind of have to do, you know. It's not forced, but it's a sense of, like what he said, responsibility, and a sense of, okay, I'll step up and it's my turn to serve the Lord now. So I stepped up to help with media, and she stepped up to help with guitar, and he stepped up to help with the bass, and now he's learning piano. Now she's singing, and I'm still in media.
I like how you mentioned that you stepped up where you saw that there was a need or a gap. And I know that you three must have experienced that, growing up, seeing that there was gaps, and now that you're older and you're able to fill in those gaps. How does that feel? You said that you're serving the Lord. How is that experience for each of you? Can y'all talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been really cool. At times it's difficult, but it's really cool because you get to not only learn, but you get to experience different things. And while you're experiencing different things, you're also getting to worship the Lord while doing it. And not only does it inspire ourselves, but it inspires other people throughout the church, because they're like, hey, they're just kids and they're stepping up. We should be doing something too, because there's people older than us. And so I think us doing that is kind of us finally being able to be old enough to step up is encouraging other people. And I've already seen little girls, because I play guitar and I'm the only guitarist, the girl guitarist, and the only guitarist. And so girls come up to me, they're like, I want to play guitar like you.
Yes, that's awesome.
And so it's like really cool and encouraging, and then yeah, it's just really awesome.
So you said you mentioned that you're not obligated to. It's been out of your own will to serve God, to serve in ministry. How do you feel? Is there any pressure on you being a pastor's kid to serve?
Well, sometimes, because you know, people look at you, and whenever you go to like youth campamentos, stuff like that, people look at you like, hey, you know, you're Pastor Obed's son, you're Pastor Monica's son. You know, they expect you to fill in that gap. Like they said, they just expect more than what you would expect from a normal kid sitting on the bancas, you know, listening to it. They expect more.
Yeah, and I also want to say, like a lot of other people expect us to do a bunch of things, and we end up doing them, but our parents never really expected us to do them. They're just like, hey, you just worship, you just follow your own path. We're not here to paint your path for you. You're here to paint your own path, as long as you're like worshiping God and doing it in a loving way. And so at times we would feel like obligated to do stuff, but then our parents would be like, hey, no, you don't need to be all stressed about that. Like, we got it, it's okay. And so that sometimes when we needed musicians, they're like, hey, are y'all willing to help us out and learn? Y'all don't have to, but if y'all want to, if y'all can learn to play these instruments. And we're like, okay, sure. And so now we're part of this band, and we're getting to minister with our parents, and it's just really cool. And turn it up.
I do want to add something to Caleb. So when we go to youth events or youth events from other churches or camps, like a lot of people expect, like the kids, they always come up to us and they're like, this is the pastor's kids, you know, this is the pastor's kids, this is the pastor's kids. And it's like, wow, I am a pastor's kid. And it's not only like that, it's like they do expect from us. For some reason, a lot of them expect us to like be very outgoing, like, hello, hermano, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
You know, what are you
I can
doing
imagine
today?
that.
And it's like we're very like we're not socially awkward. We love to socialize. We're saying hello, welcome, you know, but still we're kind of
shy.
Yeah. I get that. I understand that there must be a lot of pressure on y'all being pastors' kids, and like how you said, not even the expectations that your own parents have for you, but the people outside, the people that meet you or encounter you, and they say, "Oh, you're this pastor's kid." What advice would you give to younger people that are not only pastors' kids, but that have grown up in church or that are starting to go to church? What advice would you give them of serving in ministry?
Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Because sometimes we can grow to hate something, but just don't stress over it either. Just do it with a glad heart and a happy heart, and it's God's calling. We gotta follow God and lead through what God is telling us. So just do it with a happy heart.
We're doing this for the Lord and not for men, because as I'm doing media, I go live for my church, and it gets like really. I don't get stressed easily, but it gets stressful up there because a lot of people expect a lot from that, and when I fail to meet their expectations, I get sad, but have to remember I was working up there all day to make sure it worked fine. So I'm doing this for the Lord and not for men.
That's right.
And in the beginning, if you want to pick up a new instrument, whether it's the drum, the bass, the piano, it's whatever you want. And if you want to do it out of the goodness of your heart and want to serve the Lord, in the beginning it may be hard learning that new instrument, but you just have to stick it through. Like the phrase, trust the process, I think. Mm-hmm. Just keep on going. That's what I did. So.
Trust God, yeah.
Yes. So one last question. How rewarding would you say it is to serve the Lord as young children that y'all have seen your parents lead by example? How rewarding would you say it has been in each of your lives? What testimony can you give us from whether it was learning an instrument, whether it was learning a new thing like streaming live during this pandemic? What can y'all share? A testimony that y'all can share.
Well, whenever I first started out playing the bass, it was very rewarding because I was always, when I was smaller, I was always the one down here watching everyone play the instruments, watching everyone. Gracie started a year before I did. She started a year before I did, so she was up here too. And whenever it was my turn, every time I come up here and I play and I see the people worshiping, that's kind of a rewarding thing for me because I was able to get a gift from God to be able to play and be able to play for God and the people here too. Yeah. So that's rewarding for me.
Yeah. It's also rewarding for me because as growing up, we would see our parents minister, and our mom, she's a singer, and so we'd see her worship up here, and we'd see our dad preaching, and we were always on the bancas, on the seats, just watching them, and it was really cool, getting to see what they were doing. But then whenever we grew up, and then we started to do it with them, and we started to join them in ministry, and actually minister, it was just another awesome thing, because it's one thing to see your parents, but then it's another thing to actually do it. But then it's another thing to do it with your parents.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Hard.
Yeah, and so it was really cool to lead
right.
ministry, as a family, and actually people, it's really cool to see that dynamic working. Mm-hmm. And so that's really rewarding.
How about you?
It's cool. It's rewarding because I'm sorry I'm talking about this a lot, but it's what I can do.
Go ahead.
I see a lot of people praising the Lord on there. They're like, Amen, Gloria a Dios. They're talking a lot, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to provide them a source where they can receive the word, receive things that they need from it. So it's very rewarding to see that, and I've gone closer with God because a lot of things, through media, I've gotten closer, the lesson that I recently learned, which I keep on talking about, is it's not for man, but it's for the Lord, and God sees your heart, and He knows what you are doing, which a lot of people have told me as well.
That's right. And those are very encouraging words for anyone like me that's a little older than y'all, but especially for younger people that are looking to serve God. Because yeah, at the beginning, maybe when you start out, you may seem, oh, I'm not getting any like feedback, or I don't know how to. For example, for me, I'm in worship, and it took me. I considered myself able to sing when I was younger, but not until I got to like lead worship, I realized that I wasn't as good as I thought. But then it got to me that it wasn't as good as I could be. It was how willing I was for the Lord to work in me, for the Lord to shape me. So that's an advice that I want to give y'all, but that I can see that y'all are taking for yourselves, that it's that you're doing it willingly for God, and God is going to transform you, and God is going to equip you, and God is going to keep using y'all. And I just want to say congratulations, and thank you for all of that y'all are doing for your church, helping out your parents, worshiping together. I think that that's something very beautiful. You being able to worship with your parents, you being able to be behind the scenes, being able to make this happen for other people to be able to watch, people that are at home or even people that are far away and are watching y'all. And everything will have its rewards. You're 16, I'm 25, so I'm only 9 years older than you. But I started, I guess, fully serving when I was 15. Like, I made the decision to like serve God, not only go to church, but to actually serve. So I can tell you that in those 10 years, I've seen God bless me so, so much. And I'm sure that y'all have already seen God's blessings. You're going to continue to see his blessings even more. The more y'all continue serving, and if y'all come like this with a willing full heart and knowing that what you're doing is for God and not for the people, even though it is for the people, it's not for the likes or the praise from people, but for the glory of God. So I just want to thank y'all for this time, and if y'all have anything else to share, y'all are good?
Yeah, just
Keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
You got it.
It gets tough, but you can do it.
If you're wanting to pick up, like we said earlier, wanting to pick up, whether it's media, whether it's even preaching, whatever has to do with serving the Lord, whether it's even helping out your church, cleaning or cooking or whatever, do it with a grateful heart. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys, and thank you for watching. This is Every Good and Perfect Gift with Caleb, Grace, and Zoe. Thank y'all very much, and God bless y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.